Hello and welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV. This is the preview show for the game Paços de Ferreira. I hope I pronounced that right. Versus Spurs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce the stadium that they're playing at because it's too difficult for me and I'm not Portuguese. Anyway, we're going to get into this game to talk about it. Before we start, I'm Sam Spurs for Life and this is PAXTON ROAD TV. Please like, share, subscribe and comment, all the usual things down below. Really help the channel growth. We appreciate all the support we've had so far and please continue to do so. I'm joined in the house by Mike Hotspur, Hustler, Sid Spurs and Stuart Gallop. How are we doing, gentlemen? Are we okay? Looking forward to the game, are we?
Yeah.
The enthusiasm in everybody's voices. Yep, we are. It's good. Come on. This is not a Champions League game, but we can pretend. We can pretend that we're playing AC Milan or something like in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I know.
We're
playing
Paços de Ferreira.
We really brought into that.
Because
I'm going to put the thing at the bottom.
Next
PAXTON ROAD. Paços de Ferreira versus Spurs. Kickoff 7:30. Not even on bloody BT. Not even on Channel 5. I don't even know what channel it's on. But somehow we're going to find the game and we're going to watch it because we'll come back and do our reaction show tomorrow. Anyway, let's get into this. We're not going to take too long, gentlemen, obviously. So, first things first. I'll come to Sid Spurs first. Hope your voice is back, Sid. What are you expecting from the game tomorrow? Tell us.
I'm expecting a lot of changes. There should be a lot of changes. Hopefully, I want him to give Son a rest, actually. I don't want him to start. I want him to start Scarlett. Want him to start Roden. I want him to start...
Sid, you're breaking
Romero.
up a bit there.
Oh, how am I?
You're all right, mine. Yeah. Carry on, mate.
All right. Yeah, Sessignon. So basically, Galini, it's going to be a different team from Sunday. Give them all a bit of a run out, get them fit, get them into match practice, get them into game mode, and we just move onwards and upwards from Sunday.
Cool. Yeah, onwards and upwards from Sunday. There will be, I expect, a lot of changes. There will be, hopefully, we'll see some of the players that we haven't seen so far. I would like to see the likes of Gil players. You said Galini, you mentioned. Yeah. I have got a predicted lineup here, which I'll share with you guys towards the end. Come to you, Stuart. Again, same sort of thing. What are you expecting from Spurs tomorrow?
A win, first off. A comfortable win. Bloody baby, comfortable win. And yeah, almost sort of like a pre-season-y type lineup I'm expecting, you know. Some of the sort of the guys that aren't going to be probably the starters in the Premier League starting, and maybe, you know, a handful of the youth guys that we've seen a little bit of over the pre-season, like Niall John, Scarlett. I don't know, some of them, maybe one of the other defender guys that's still with the squad. So, yeah, as long as the attitude's right, which, you know, we're seeing glimpses of that Nuno's pretty hot at, and along with sort of Ian Caffrey and the other coaches. So, touchwood, should be a good game. Sissoko's not there, so that's one of them off already. So he's not even gone with them, which is a good thing for me because it means he might be getting sold. I just want a solid performance. I just want people to, even though they're not, you know, they're not starting in the Premier League or whatever, I still want us to go and win this tournament. So I want the attitude to be right.
100%. I'm in total agreement with you. I flashed up my predicted team early doors just so we can have a bit of a look at that as we're talking. But I'm going to come to you, Mike, Hotspur Hustler. What's your thoughts about how the approach to the game? I guess more so, it's got to be a professional approach. We can't, you know, have the same thing we had when we played. Was it Zagreb? And we had that game when, you know, we had some certain players who just decided that they were going to go on holiday early, was in flip-flops, and we lost the game we should never have lost and was knocked out the Europa. I don't expect to see the same sort of level of unprofessionalism, if that's the right phrase. But what are you actually expecting from the team tomorrow?
I think very much the same as what we saw on Sunday. The same heart, the same desire, the same fight, the same passion, same sort of energy levels. I don't think. I think the team just need to kick on and continue progressing from where they've left off from pre-season. I'm hoping that they will all have learned, because the majority of that, well, all that squad, apart from maybe 2, 3, I can see there. If that is the lineup that they were to go with, they would have all been pretty much at the Zagreb game. So you'd hope they'd all learn from previous mistakes. I know there's, like you've mentioned there, well, there's 4 players if you include Rodon that wouldn't have played. But yeah, I'm expecting the same sort of positive vibes from Sunday's game. There should be no reason why this team don't put in the same level of performance that they did against Man City. Make it comfortable for the return leg. And I don't expect anything. I expect nothing less, to be fair. I don't know if there's probably the team that you've mentioned there. I don't think there's a few players there. Basically, I don't think are going to play, but we can discuss that a bit, I suppose. But I think just kick on from Sunday and as I say, continue the progression.
Okay. Yep. Well, let me give my thoughts on the reasons why I picked some of these players. I think Galini is an obvious choice because I don't expect to see Lloris in these games. We never really saw him much in Europe until the later stages anyway. Doherty, Romero, Rodon, Davis. Now, I'd like to see that as a backfill, just to see how to see if Rodon's going to be included in terms of playing this season. There's been a lack of Rodon appearances, and for whatever reason, he's not seeming to be fancy to be playing. And the back end of last season, that was the same thing with when we had Mason in charge as well. I expect Romero to start, and I expect Davis to come in for Region. The midfield 3, what do you want on the midfield 3? Do we expect to see one of the Skips or
Sissoko's not travelled? Sissoko's not travelled.
There you go.
So I think we're probably going to see Noel John in there as one.
Is John travelled?
Maybe Wing. Yeah, he's travelled. Yeah,
John should be in.
And then probably Winks, I would have thought, and then very likely Lo Celso, because Lo Celso's, I think, just sort of building up his sort of starting fitness again, I think. But I don't know who else you could have in there in place of Winks. Because I haven't seen who's actually, because that's the thing, like obviously they've named the squad for these games, but it's very different to who's actually travelled, because we know Kane hasn't travelled, Sissoko hasn't travelled. I don't know if Højbjerg and Skip have travelled or not. But take Sissoko out, put Noel John in. I'm not too bad about that, really.
Yeah, I was looking at that just before we came on, actually.
Yeah, go on, Sid.
Yeah, I was just looking at what Stuart was saying. I was just looking just before we came on who's travelled. I can't find anything. I can't find any names, or I've been on the Spurs website everywhere, anywhere, and there's nothing to say who's actually travelled. So it'll be interesting.
I'm just watching the training content at the moment just to see.
Well, I saw the 25-man squad. That's why I kind of included Sissoko until you guys have obviously told me. I knew about the Kane not travelling. I don't expect to see Son starting. So the front 3, there was very limited players in our forward line in terms of the names I saw on the squad. Now, is Scarlett part of the squad to play in this?
Yeah, he will be. Yeah, he will be. Yeah.
So there's a potential that he could start in place of Mora. I expect them to play Gil. I know he hasn't played any or featured anything for us, but I expect him to play tomorrow because of the level of opposition. And maybe Stevie B to get another run out again, just to maybe get some confidence up. If he can get a goal, let's say tomorrow against Paços de Ferreira, that will do his confidence a world of good. So I would like to see him play for that reason. Any more thoughts on the actual starting lineup? I guess if let's say Scarlett was there.
I think your back line's spot on. I think that's what that back line will most likely be. I think it makes sense to give Romero, and I don't think in general Romero will, going forward, will probably play these games probably until the knockout stages. But get him up to speed, and the same with Gil, probably same as Rodon, same as Galini.
It's almost like a pre-season game for some of those guys, isn't it?
Yeah, to get them up to speed with the rest of the squad and stuff, it makes sense to play them in this game. Some of them, like Gil, if he can get 90 minutes, great. If Romero can get 90 minutes, Rodon, it makes sense really. Same as Galini, give him 90 minutes, makes complete sense.
I think we might be quite surprised who actually starts up front tomorrow, because I've got a feeling that if at the moment, you know, because we don't know what the situation is with Kane, and he's going to keep that same front three of, you know, Bergvin, Son and Moura, maybe he will go down, like, we know Hill's probably very likely to start, have Scarlett in the middle, and then someone else on the other side. You could even put like Sessegnon out there as a sort of a more attacking player.
Is he not recovering from an injury though? Didn't he not? Was he not injured?
He played 45 minutes the other night for the under-23s.
Okay.
So whether they use this as another sort of a step up to go up to like 60 minutes and then he'll get subbed off or something. I don't know.
Is he in the squad?
Yeah, he's in the squad.
Yeah, he's in the squad. Is Pascozzi in the squad?
Yes.
I remember who was in there.
There's the other list. There's the other list, isn't there? There's the B list, and the B list is the one that we didn't see who was on it, because that's the one that Scarlett. Because Scarlett's there. I'm literally watching a video of him going out to training on my laptop right now. So like Scarlett, Pastozzi, Niall John, Skip, all those guys will be on that list. I haven't seen Skip at all in any content, so maybe he's been resting. The thing is, if Skip and Højbjerg are going to be our main two central midfielders, then I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them in this kind of game, because the amount of effort that those lot are putting in Premier League games, you'd want to try and keep them as fresh as possible, I'm guessing, at this point in the competition. Because, you know, that's the whole point of having the reliance on a decent squad, is that you can rest these guys, so we're not overstretching them.
Exactly. So Terry, comment here from Terry Wright, would like to see Scarlett, Gill and Sessegnon up front. We need more fresh for Wolves.
I'd love
that.
And
I would definitely go with that. I'm going to put that team back up again and just have a look. So we could potentially look at, you know, if Scarlett has travelled, then I reckon Scarlett will probably start then. I don't expect to see Moura because of that reason. Hill I expect to start as well. Whether he starts on the right or the left, it depends on what Nuno is going to look to do. Is he going to try and convert him into an inverted winger, or is he going to let him play naturally on the left as he was playing before he came here? And certainly for Spain in the World Cup, in the Olympics, he was playing on the left side, but he popped up quite a few places. There might be one or two things. It's Sissoko for John that could think. I don't want to see Højbjerg. I don't want to see Skip play, to be fair. Let's see them for Wolves. But I want to see how our new centre-back does in terms of Romero. That's, you know, what I want to see is how this guy, is he going to be the commanding centre-back? Is he going to take control? Who he's partnered with is all going to depend. So just a shout out to those who are watching. Thank you for watching. Kevin Murray, we've got Eric Cartman here, Terry Wright, Richard Kofi, Eddie Ryan, Callum Kaz. Callum, we'll see you soon, mate. Hope you are doing well. Please hit that like button. Make sure you do that.
Do you think Nuno's, because that's the thing, like obviously I see Romero on there, and like logically you're thinking he's going to start because he builds up his minutes before the Premier League, but there's also a part of me that thinks, oh, what if he got an injury or something like that before that Wolves game? That'd be pretty terrible, really. But it's the risk, isn't it?
Give him an hour. I'd give him an hour. He'll probably get an hour, and that'd be it. I think. Like if Lucas Moura play, if any of the first team are playing, I don't foresee them playing in more than an hour.
Of those guys then that are playing, I'll come to you first, Mike. Who do you want to see? I guess who needs to have a good performance of those that are on the periphery? I'm talking about the likes of if Doherty starts, or if Roden starts, or maybe Davis. You know, you've got the midfield of Winks in there potentially. You've got to probably give a little bit more of a chance to people like Hill, who hasn't played for us at all. But there's a few players in there that I think need to kind of even prove themselves. So who needs to have a good game for you, Mike?
Doherty. I think he's
100.
the first one. He needs a good game. I think he's long overdue a good solid performance. Even if he does, I wouldn't put him in against Wolves. I think you've got to knock Taganga off his perch at the moment. I think Rodon needs a good performance. He needs a good 90, a good solid performance to get his name back in the mix there. I think I don't think there's any, and the rest of that. If we're going with that lineup that you've mentioned there, the rest of them, no, I don't feel there's any pressure on them to sort of like sort of have a big game in order to push their spots for a starting 11. Like if Scarlett plays, there shouldn't be any pressure on him to be sort of performing out of his skin, even though you would like to see that naturally. But there shouldn't be any of that pressure. Same with Gil. I don't. There's no pressure on them. Just give them the 90 minutes. Let them do their thing. It should be a good opportunity to see for Nuno to see what some of these lads are about. Davis, I don't think he's probably seen much of him during pre-season, other than what maybe the odd 45 minutes here and there. Rodon's probably he hasn't seen Rodon in action live, has he? So again, it's a good opportunity for Rodon. So yeah, I just get the job done, isn't it? It's just one of them where this isn't a cup final by any stretch of the imagination. So it's just one of them. Get through the game, make it easy for yourselves for the return leg, and don't pick up any injuries. Nothing stupid. Let's just manage the game in a professional manner.
Yeah.
Agrees. Sid the flag man, who needs to have a good game for you?
For me, I think we need to see Rodon, full stop. We haven't seen Rodon. He's just disappeared after the Euro, so he needs to come in. Whether he has a good game or not, I just want to see him in the Spurs shirt on the pitch. So at least we know that this guy does exist. Doherty, I think, needs to have a big impact. I think you guys might disagree, but I think Stevie B needs to have a big impact. I know he had a decent game, but he just needs to maybe score one or two, at least 2 goals tomorrow, just to get his confidence back and get shots on the goal. I mean, even if he doesn't score, as long as he's having them shots on goal and testing the keeper, I'll be happy with that, because so far from what I've seen of him, in front of goal, he's lacking. I don't know what it is with him. Scarlett, for me, like I said, should be given a go and just said, go out there, go and play, do your thing. This is going to be your competition. This is where you're going to become the player that I want you to become. Go out there. There's no pressure. Kane's not here. Son will play as and when we require. So you just go out there and you're my main man and you bang in the goals and you get us to the final and you win us this cup. That's it. No pressure. Just go and play.
No pressure. Win us the cup.
Win us the cup. Just score the goals and win us the cup. But there's no pressure on you. And I think
you're only 17 much. No pressure. Just bang the goals in. Get to the final. And make sure we win it.
If you're going to get into that team at that age, then you're
I don't want Sid to be my manager. I don't want you to be my line manager, Sid. Thank you very much. Stuart, come to you. Who do you want to see have a good one tomorrow?
Well, the interesting point is that Nuno said in the press conference that he said there's going to be 11 changes from the Man City game. So I do generally think that it's going to be a totally different, like even Bergwijn and Moura, I'm going to be surprised if we end up seeing them from the start. I think if something goes tits up and we need to sort of ramp things up, some of those guys are going to be on the bench. But I'm expecting a sort of a very sort of youthful team, really, with it all the way through, and that's what we want. And this is what we all said when we went into this competition, that this is a great tournament for us to blood in a lot of our youth team who are sort of at that just below the sort of first team level. So for me, maybe even might even see the likes of Jack Clark. Maybe he gets a little run out before the end of the window, because if he does well, or if he seems to be progressing, they might keep him. They might not loan him out. If he does a bit poorly, they might end up going, right, he definitely does need another loan or something like that. So there's a couple of different benefits for this particular game and the one next week. In terms of people who I want to see perform, Rodon's a big one for me, because I've just been, ever since we've signed the guy, I've just been so confused about how he's been managed in the team. Well, I mean, Mourinho's Mourinho, so he can piss off. But I don't know whether he's come, because it seems to me that when all the players came back, they went through a very sort of strict fitness test to get them up to the level that Nuno and the team want him at, and anyone who's below that has gone into some kind of program. Ndombele's gone into his own special world, that's in an alternate reality and all that kind of stuff. We don't know when he's coming back, but I think that's what's happened with Rodon as well. And I think they obviously want to get him ready to a certain level, and then they'll sort of bring him back in properly. So hopefully, if he does start tomorrow, that this could be the sort of game where he can at least be in with a shout of being in and around the Premier League squads, because he has got the talent there. We've seen glimpses of it. It's just like Tanganga, these guys need runs in the team, but You know, and if we end up bloody signing a Zuma or some other defender before the end of the window, it makes it even harder for him to fight for a Premier League place. But we've got 2 cups domestically and then this one, so there's plenty of games. It's just everyone being on the same page in terms of attitude. That doesn't matter if you're not playing the Premier League. This is still an important game for the club, so you've got to put the levels in, and that's the problem we had last season.
The attitudes do need to be right for these players. What it does show is even with the players that haven't travelled, the squad, the team itself tomorrow should be a pretty strong team. You look at that, and I'll just go back to if some of these players, and I'll just take the comment off here, if some of these players, you know, potentially were first team players, a lot of them were first team players last season at some points during the season. So I would expect the likes, if Lo Celso was to play, if Winks were to play, let's say Davies, Rodon, Doherty, you know, I expect them guys to put the performance in. The attitudes do have to be right though, and that's the major thing. There was a comment here from Richard Kofi. Do you guys know anything about Ndombele? Well, him and Aurier were left out of the squads completely for this, which is a bit of a telling sign for me. I hope it's not as in they're not going. Well, for Aurier, I'm not bothered about, but certainly for Ndombele, I hope it's not a sign that he's, you know, not part of the plans for the squad in general. But we'll see before the window. Anyway, let's get to the last part of the show. We'll come around to all of you. It's the score predictions time. I think I'm winning. If I go back, I'll just turn over my little note paper here. Do you want to actually know? I've got a big smile on my face.
Here we go.
Listen to this one. Listen to this one. A game against Manchester City. Mike said 2-1 to Spurs. Darius said 2-2. Sid said 2-1. Mr. K said 4-1. But you know who said 1-0, don't you? You know who said 1-0, didn't you?
It was me, wasn't it?
Thank you very much. That's all I've got to say, people. No more to be said. That's all I've got to say. So I'm winning, and I'm taking 3 points for a win. Anybody that got the score in terms of winning the game gets 1 point. But I'm currently winning this league table by 2 points. Anyway, that's that done. Mike, what's your score predictions, mate? I'm writing them down, by the way. I am writing them down.
I'm going 3-0 Spurs.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. He's simple and nice.
No, we don't know who's playing yet, so
we don't even know who's playing. That's true. That's very true. It's very true.
So now I'm going 3-0, solid 3-0.
Mike's going solid 3-0 on that one. Sid, I'll come to you next then. What are you saying? What you saying?
You know what I'm saying? I tell you what Sid's saying. You know what? Do you know Nuno's got a double life tomorrow? He's playing for Paços de Ferreira as well as a centre midfielder. They've got Nuno Santos playing tomorrow. There's a player called Nuno Santos playing for him. So I think 3-1 to Tottenham.
3-1 to Tottenham. Like that. It's like that. So, Stuart, I'm just writing these down because I'm making sure I'm keeping this all down logged.
I'm gonna go with what Derek in the comments just said. I'm gonna go 4-0. I'm gonna go ultra confident.
Oh, you stole my thunder then. I was gonna say 4-0. That's not fair. When you go last on this stuff, it's not good, is it? Because I was gonna say
the host, you can control all of this.
Right, okay. I can't go the same as you, Stuart. But if you get 4-0 tomorrow, I'm not happy because that would have been my 3 points. So anyway, I'm going. Hold on a minute. Hold on. 3-0 Mike's gone. 3-1 Sid's 4. All the scores I wanted are kind of gone. I'm going to go 4-1. I think they might nick a goal because it's at their ground. Bit of an unknown quantity. I'm sure that Nuno knows a lot about him. Being Portuguese, I hope he does, and he'll set up accordingly. Go on, Sid. What are you going to say?
They're 11th at the moment. They play 2 games. They've won 1, lost 1. They're 11th in the league. But I was looking at the history, and they do score goals. It's not like they don't score. They have scored like 2 goals in almost every game. So yeah.
Where did they finish up last season?
5th, you said, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah,
was
5th.
Fifth.
They were 5th. They were 33 points behind Sporting, who finished on 85 points. I think they had something like 53 points, something like that in the league.
These aren't going to be any mugs.
They're not going to be mugs. No, they're not going to be mugs. No. But
I don't think there's any mugs in European football anymore, really. I mean, the amount of teams that we get surprised about this, and that's the problem. If you get your attitude wrong, you're done. So that's what I'm hoping to get right tomorrow.
If they're not going to be mugs, I'm not bothered because we need cups.
No. This is definite. Oh God, Oh God.
We need like a £1 million super chat for that one.
You know when it's time to go. You know when it's time to go. When Sid breaks out with them ones. This is when I know. We've had enough. This show's been long.
Can I just drop something in, Sam? Can I just drop something in before we go? Because I've just seen something pop up on my Twitter that to Tottenham, there's Tottenham people apparently watching the Benfica versus PSV game. So whether that's that they're watching Madueke or whether they're watching someone from Benfica, just quite interesting that they've got people at the game apparently. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
Okay. We just got Simon here. Look, Simon's popped up. Knowing Spurs, it will be 0-1 to us after all this. Big up, you guys. Thank you, Simon. And Dele Alli, remember, that's got to be one of the most classic lines. Dele Alli. Who did he say he was? Like Dele Hullet. That was it. It was Dele Hullet. It was Dele Hullet. Simon invented that, as that's a genius. So Simon, you got to come back on soon again. That was genius. Right, gentlemen, I think we've done enough on this. We're all going to be surprised if we don't win tomorrow. I'd be very surprised if we didn't win tomorrow. I'd be very surprised if the lads don't put the performance in, because of now they've set a benchmark. So the others that are coming have got to set the same sort of benchmark in terms of the effort and levels. So I don't expect nothing but a victory tomorrow. As we said, we've all gone for a win and a comfortable Spurs win. So
guys, it's all about that.
Yes,
together to HFC.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
And on that note, that's what it's all about. Gentlemen, Mike, Sid, Stuart, thank you very much. We'll catch you on the reaction show tomorrow. Let's hope for a Spurs win. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you. Before we go, like, subscribe, share, comment. Please keep doing that. Get analytics up for us. As you know, we are privileged to be bringing you all this content, and it's nothing without you guys. So please keep supporting us, and we'll keep doing our best to get you as much out. Look out for Sid Says on Friday. I think it's Sid and Mike this week, Friday, and then Judge Jodi after the Premier League game on Sunday. We've got plenty coming up. So, gentlemen, see you guys.
See you then.